Welcome back to CryptosRus. I'm George. We're all George. So welcome to another market open stream today. Let's talk about why Bitcoin's golden cross is so important. And this is days before the next FOMC meeting. What does it mean? Let's talk about it. Let's put it all together. Let's do this. Welcome, guys. The market bell is still going strong. And just like Bitcoin. Today, the U.S. market is looking to recover slightly. Okay, right now, it does look pretty green. The market bell just rung. Let's see where it goes. But yeah, right now, Dow, NASDAQ, S&P are all up. But guess what else is up? Bitcoin. Bitcoin is climbing up 34.7. It got up to 34.8-ish, 9-ish, just like an hour ago. But Bitcoin is looking like it wants to push up and test that 35,000 in the near future. But man, there's so much going for Bitcoin right now. The momentum has not stopped. And let's see what's going to happen today. Now, I did mention the Fed. There is a big FOMC meeting coming up this week. That's right, this week. We have a lot of also economic data to digest this week, including ADP payrolls, and that comes out the day of the FOMC meeting. We also have consumer sentiment, JOLTS jobs opening. You got a whole lot. Non-farm payrolls on this Friday, unemployment rate this Friday. There's just a lot coming out this week, right? But as of right now, the meeting is November 1st. There's a 98.2% chance that there will be another rate hike in the United States, probably 25 basis points. Less than 2% chance that we will not get one and just hold. So that's unfortunate. Every single rate hike that we have, it doesn't seem like it's significant, but it is. It puts so much pressure on the banking sector, on the consumer sector, on business sector, all sectors. It really affects a lot. It does affect a lot. And I'm curious to see what's really happening behind the scenes with all the smaller regional banks and local banks, how they will handle this, because they're already not doing so well. Okay? I mean, how could business be doing well, or how could they be doing well when interest rates are so high when it comes to any kind of loans out there? Right? I mean, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And so many are holding long-term bonds that have crashed since the beginning of the year. So these banks are not only not flush with money, they're losing a lot of money, and they're getting no business. So you know what? They're borrowing a lot from the Fed. That's how it works right now. So yeah, this is no good that we're going to get another rate hike. But you know what's good is next year we will get cuts. Okay, we can't have elevated rates for so long, because if so, then unemployment will really start rising, jobs will really start closing, companies will really start closing, and that is not what we want right now. Okay, so we'll see what happens between today and Wednesday. The good thing is Bitcoin seems to have decoupled from markets. Okay, last week was a horrible week for U.S. markets, yet Bitcoin continued to gain strength, and it continues to gain strength today. Look at it. We're at 34.7 right now. Okay, so even if today, tomorrow, Wednesday turned out to be bad, Bitcoin might just shrug it off and continue forward anyways, because this is the time to do so. And there's so many good things happening with Bitcoin. You guys know that. I get so excited talking about Bitcoin right now. This is definitely a time to be cheering and greedy rather than fearful and whatever else. Okay, so speaking of Bitcoin, you have some of the biggest fund managers like BlackRock and also VanEck. They are both getting ready to seed their spot Bitcoin ETFs. What does that mean? They need to buy. They need to buy some Bitcoin. So this means, okay, this means they're both getting ready to release this, okay? So I'm sure they've been talking with SEC back and forth, and they're getting ready, okay? This is crunch time now. And there were already rumors that BlackRock may be seeding by the end of October. Guess what? That's today and tomorrow. There's 2 more days, okay? Doesn't mean they have to, but if there's a chance that spot Bitcoin ETFs get approved in November, they better do it in October, right? And there is a deadline in November. I believe it's for ARK Invest spot Bitcoin ETF. But these guys, they need to start seeding. And when they seed, this one's interesting. Actually, they might just seed with Bitcoin, but yes, no. I mean, they should be seeding with Bitcoin, right? Unless they plan to seed with cash and then using that cash to buy Bitcoin in the fund. Either way, the difference between a spot Bitcoin ETF and a future-based ETF is they need to hold enormous amount of Bitcoins in order to offer their shares for the public to buy. That's why it's different. That's why spot Bitcoin ETF is what we want, not futures-based. Future-based is all cash settled, so it doesn't really matter. It's indirect correlation to Bitcoin. But spot Bitcoin ETF has a direct correlation. And if these guys are getting ready to jump in, I think that means good news is on the way. We will get a spot Bitcoin approval sooner than later. And then these guys really need to start buying. And again, think about the timing of this. While traditional markets are going down, while the bond market is going down, while everything else is going down, guess what's not going down? Bitcoin. Wall Street is paying attention. And so is the whole world. Everyone's paying attention. What is the one asset going up right now, despite all the turmoil, despite all the horrible macro conditions that's going on? It's Bitcoin. So all that money sitting on the sidelines and all that money sitting in other assets could be pulled and put into spot Bitcoin ETFs or Bitcoin directly. The timing of this could not have come better. And in November and December, if we see Bitcoin continue to roar above 40,000, 45,000, maybe towards 50,000 by the end of the year, get ready. We will see influx of money that I don't think any of us anticipated by this time of this year, right? So, yeah, that's what's happening right now. So very, very good things. And of course, if you're looking at the fundamentals, for example, like the network, okay, the hash rate is at all-time high. The miners, they hold enormous amount of Bitcoins themselves. They don't want to let the BlackRocks of the world get all of it, okay? The miners hold enormous amount, as they should, because they're the ones that's powering the network. They're the ones making sure Bitcoin has the most decentralized network in existence and the most secure network in existence. So yeah, they should be rewarded, okay? But this proves to you, like the hash rate just keeps going up and up and up and up, making the network even stronger and better. And guess what? They're not selling. Their profitability is skyrocketing as Bitcoin's price is skyrocketing. So what does that mean? That means they're going to take that profit and buy more miners and mine more Bitcoin, right? That's how it goes. These Bitcoin miners, I see them as like, you know, it's kind of like the Middle East, right? And how all the princes and kings of the Middle East, they own all the oil. These Bitcoin miners are going to be like that in the future. They're all going to be like trillionaires. Every single, I feel like all these companies are going to be, you know, Bitcoin trillionaires because they control so much of Bitcoin, right? I don't know. There's just thinking out loud, there's still a lot more to go. A lot more ways to go, I guess, before that happens. Yeah, so moving forward, looking at Bitcoin, we have about 83% of supply. Okay, that was last moved. So you could just think about that as trading buying and selling. 83% of Bitcoin supply has moved lower than today's price, and only 17 has moved at higher. So how I interpret this is this: 83% of you guys are in the green. Okay, you bought below today's price. At some point in time in your life, you bought Bitcoin, or you dollar cost average down to below today's price. And very little of you guys, only 17% of you guys, bought at a higher price. But again, if you DCA'd, you could be in the green already. So what this shows is, yeah, a lot of people that has been sticking with Bitcoin, they are in the green. And are they going away? No. Just like the miners, profits are coming in, the gains are coming in, everyone's feeling good, everyone's feeling bullish, right? So are any of the long-term holders of Bitcoin planning on selling anytime soon? The answer is no. No, this is why Bitcoin is so strong. The faith and conviction of the long-term holders never wavers and only gets stronger over time. That's why so much of the supply is being held right now and not being moved, right? It's really that simple. But, you know, if you're looking at charts, charts are indicating good things too. Here's what I'm talking about, the golden cross on a daily chart. Golden crosses, sometimes they take a long time. Golden and death crosses, sometimes they take a long time to happen. And after they happen, either very good or very bad things happen. You could see back in March or February of 2022 is when we formed that death cross. And we did not get out of it for an entire year. That death cross lasted an entire year. And then when we broke through, that's when it indicated we were out from bottom, right? We have formed, or we have moved into the new 4-year cycle, the new bull cycle. We had a little stint recently where we formed the death cross, but now we have come full circle, golden cross, and this one may last all the way until 2025. This one could go all the way. We may not have any more stops until the end of 2025. Golden crosses are good. 2 moving averages, a shorter one and a longer one. In this case, the 50 versus the 200, right? This is good. From a charter's perspective, this is very good. Here's another perspective. The parabolic curve, the step-like formation, where you form many bases, right, on your way upwards to the moon. Scott. I don't think I met you, Scott. I went to Purdue in 99, so that's when you were leaving, so I probably never met you, Scott. But anyways, so you can see base 1, base 2, base 3, base 4, and then you go to the sell point, right? But for me, I'll never sell at all. I'll probably sell a little bit on the way up just so I have enough cash for the next cycle. And maybe a little bit for my yacht, you know, maybe there then. But you look at our base, our current trajectory right now, it kind of follows that almost to a T. You got a base 1, base 2, base 3. Now, according to this, the next base is going to be quite high, okay? It's projecting anywhere from $50,000 to $70,000, and that could be by the end of this year. If we do get a spot Bitcoin ETF approval sometime in November, I have no doubt Bitcoin can skyrocket upwards towards the 40s. And we may end up in the 50s by the end of the year, especially how Wall Street and all the other streets out there around the world, all the markets, you know, they will be paying attention and they will feel the FOMO. They're like, well, this is the only thing that's making anyone money. And not only that, it's making money hand over fist right now. So everyone's going to be pouring in. So the FOMO may kick in even in December this year. Also, remember the Santa rally. That's an actual thing. So that's also looking pretty good. That's looking pretty good. And then lastly, if you're looking at long term, okay, here's the golden ratio multiplier. Basically, this is a whole lot of moving averages. You have this rainbow effect, right? And whenever you're below the lowest moving average, that's usually a good time to buy. Of course, when you're above the highest moving average, that's usually a good time to sell. And where are we? We're barely above that lower line. We're not even halfway through, right? So again, this is why we're in Bitcoin. Bitcoin continues to form higher lows and higher highs every single cycle like clockwork. And we use on-chain metrics like this to support our, I guess, case on why Bitcoin will continue higher and when we should buy and go heavy, right? And this is still one of those times to be accumulating. This is not one of those times to be, again, fearful and thinking about the top and selling off. No. We have just begun, okay? We're not even in the crazy part yet. We're not even in, okay? After having an event is usually when it gets exciting. So if you think it's exciting now, just wait until after the halving event and we really start moving upwards. Then you will truly feel FOMO. When you check your portfolio every single day and you see it go up by 5%, 10%, 15%, literally day in, day out, it's whew. If you guys haven't experienced that, you're in for a treat. And Bitcoin is closing at 34.8 once again, looking pretty good. Off to a great start this week so far, okay? And I'm not even done here. What else is going on? Well, let's talk about some of the other interesting plays in the sector. Let's talk about GameFi. GameFi is coming back. Axie Infinity, arguably the biggest game out there, is now rising to a 20-month peak. Axie Infinity made huge strides in 2021 and really became a staple in many countries like Southeast Asian countries that actually utilize Axie as like a income source, like a main income source, right? Obviously, if Axie itself and SLP, they have two tokens, are going down, less people are going to play it. But right now, with Axie coming up, this could be huge going into 2024 and 2025 once again, right? So GameFi has been really weak, but are they going to come back? Quite possibly. Axie also has not just been sitting idle. They're coming out with something called Axie Party, which is like a slew of mini games, it seems like. Okay? And actually looks pretty cool if you ask me. I mean, there's not a whole lot of games in Web3 that actually look as good as this. Of course, we're all waiting for AAA games to come into the space, and they are being developed right now. But in the meantime, what we need are games that can attract millions of players. We don't have that yet. What we need are games like that. And once we do, then the companies supporting those games and the chains that are supporting those games, they are going to decouple away from everything else. And you will see those companies explode like crazy. Okay? We just haven't seen it yet, but they will be coming. Sandbox, also one of the big metaverses. They're getting ready. They bought 111 land NFTs to reward their most talented creators. Sandbox is almost like a Web3 Minecraft. They allow you to create your own games and own worlds and stuff like that, own characters. It's actually quite unique. But, you know, with the down market, of course, people just gave up on a lot of metaverse plays. But I like Sandbox. I like it way more than Decentraland. Out of the two, if I had to choose, I'd pick Sandbox all day, every day. So let's see if they could come back as well. Now, Sandbox also allows people to use their NFTs as avatars. So they have also partnered up with Clay Nation, because Clay Nation is one of the biggest NFT collections on Cardano. Now they have this bridge so that you could actually use your Clay Nation NFT and use that as your avatar in Sandbox. That's pretty cool. So that's the latest with them. Also, let's not forget about the gaming platform Gala, which I've talked a lot about recently, but they want to pour $5 billion into NFT expansion efforts for 2024. $5 billion. That's a lot of money, okay? And they have partnered up with the likes of Snoop Dogg and The Walking Dead, and other popular genres and celebrities. So they are still moving forward despite the turmoil over the co-founders, but they're still moving forward. All right. That's pretty much it. Before I get into QA, I announced this yesterday, my Sunday night video yesterday. I talked about my journey, as a YouTube creator. I guess it wasn't easy, and it's still not easy. But I did also announce the IFC, so I'm going to announce it again. So I have been planning this for a long time. Okay, and still planning, still not done. But I did want to kick this off right away because I know December is right around the corner. The market is doing good, and if you guys want to party and also come out and have a good time, I am having a kickoff party in Vegas. Okay, December 14th. So if you guys want to come out and meet me and other influencers that are in the IFC, okay, this is the spot to go. And not only that, Crowded Combat is going to be there. Their fighters are going to be there. I'm going to invite others in this space, other influencers, other projects, gaming projects. I mean, it's going to be, if you've been to one of my network parties before, it's going to be like that, but even bigger this time around, right? So this is coming December 14th, and I have 3 different tickets. If you want to participate, you want to join, please do so. Use the code 25 off. You'll get $25 off. Love to see all you guys there. And for people that's been asking for a new NFT, if you go with the VIP program or ticket, you will get airdropped an exclusive I Am George NFT. That will be included. So make sure you check it out if you are interested. This is in Vegas. Remember, what goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas. And you get to check out all the fighters, all the other influencers, myself, and all the major projects will be there. It's going to be a good party, a good time. So check it out. Description. Link in the description. All right. That's pretty much it. Let's do some Q&A. Sheldon, come on now. Come on, you don't ask that. You don't ask that in this PG-13 chat. Pete Jr. also, dude, you don't ask those kind of questions in a PG-13 chat. All right, let me scroll up and make sure nothing's missed. I answered Scott already earlier. Let's see. Let's see. I kept my Gala, didn't sell. Congratulations. Mortal Kombat. Yep. Mud wrestling is not in the cards. Maybe in the future. Not right now. It would be nice to see Bitcoin break above 35 today. We have done so briefly a couple times, but Bitcoin is slowly getting stronger. And, today could be a good day. I mean, it's only a couple 100 points away. You think those countries banned from mining will turn back on? I don't know of any countries that ban mining. Even China. China has a lot of miners again. Despite the fact that they kicked out everyone, I think they regret it. Now, if you look at the hash rate from various countries, China's up there again. So even China is allowing Bitcoin mining. Bitcoin mining does a lot of good. It does take an immense amount of energy, but it causes those areas to improve their infrastructure. And it gives them ability to also because they're making money from the taxes, from the revenue. So they take that and then they can improve the power grid, which is great since everyone wants to go EV now. So it's kind of like really good. And it's great revenue for the governments. So that's why they're all really bullish on it. Howdy from Texas. Howdy. Just paid someone in Brazil using BTC, small amount. Do you think people realize how insanely easy it is to use Bitcoin as payment system? I've always said this. It is very easy. It is very easy. It's the only network. I've been like honing in on my elevator pitch, but whenever someone asks me why Bitcoin is worth what it's worth, why is Bitcoin worth 34 or 35,000? Why is it worth anything when it's not backed by gold or dollars? Okay, the best argument I believe you could give someone is this: Bitcoin has a network, and that network is the most decentralized and safest network on the planet. It is one that you can't even replicate because countries won't allow it anymore. It's the one that was let through, and they have basically given up on trying to ban it because they know they can't. And with that network, you have the ability to send money, okay, in the form of Bitcoin to anyone in the world within minutes, and no one can stop that. No one can stop it at all. Unlike any other payment rail or payment gateway or payments in general. It doesn't matter if it's a bank transfer or a PayPal transfer, a Zelle transfer, a wire transfer, an ACH transfer, any credit card transfer, any other financial form that involves money is controlled by third party, controlled by the governments. They could shut it down anytime they want and ban you from it. No one could do that with Bitcoin. That in itself has infinite value. So that is what I tell people when they don't believe. And if you present Bitcoin in that manner, there's no counter argument to that. Anything else you say, they'll say something else. They'll counter it. That is the one argument no one can counter. You're streaming an hour early? I am not streaming an hour early. It's 8:30. What, was there a time change I was not aware of? No, it's like 9 o'clock. I'm not streaming an hour early. Sol will finance my apartment next year. Good. Good for you. Good for you. Only in Europe the time has changed. Oh, that's why. That's why. Everyone in Europe forgot. That's why, because even on Saturday, I was closing in at 5,000 people watching, or 4,400 or something. And today is a little bit lower. I thought today would be even better than on Saturday, but maybe because everyone in Europe is confused by the time. Mr. Unoffended, been working 60 hours a week on and off and got a 20K portfolio. If that at least 10x, I'm buying you a steak dinner for keeping me informed. Great. I think if you made 10x from your 20K portfolio and it's due to me, you should buy me more than a steak dinner. It's okay. I'll just be happy meeting you, right? Like if you go off to this IFC kickoff party, I'd be very glad to shake your hand and say, I'm proud of you, congratulations. I mean, that's a lot. And I do think realistically a 20K portfolio can turn 200K by the end of this cycle. A 10X is definitely doable. If you live through any of the previous bull runs, you'll know that 10X is very, very doable. Coinbase earnings in 2 days. I'm not sure it's going to be that good because most of last quarter, Bitcoin has still been quite weak, right? It wasn't until this month when Bitcoin really started gaining strength. So I don't know if Coinbase is going to do that well, but they are doing very well today. plus 3%, almost 4%. And then Mara is up 6, but they're still relatively low. I mean, they crashed out last week. So last week just horrible for stocks. So hopefully they regain what they lost last week. George, is 98% chance of no rate hike. Yeah, I think you guys are right. Yeah, 5.25 to 5. Yeah, I think we're there already. Well, that's good. Well, in December, though, there's a 25% chance of a rate hike. I don't think anyone wants a rate hike. Okay, so I guess I apologize. I misread that. There's a 1.8% chance it gets cut. But nevertheless, if that's the case, it's priced in. So probably not a whole lot of volatility. Nevertheless, Bitcoin will continue to move upwards because it will. The fundamentals, the charts, the metrics all support it. And we have so much to look forward to next year. ADA is on the move. Is ADA on the move? Let's see. Today, Solana's up huge, 7%. Cardano, I don't know, Cardano's up 1.7%. I don't know about that being on the move, but trending upwards. Who else is having a big day? Avalanche is having a big day today, finally. Avalanche should be a lot higher than 20. I don't know why they're so weak, but they should be higher. Same thing with Cosmos, should be higher. They're making little moves today. Who else is moving big today? Thorchain up 9%. They're like one big liquidity pool, basically. It's a chain of for liquidity pool, which is good. Gala up 9%. They're coming up in a big way. Look at this. They're up 45% in the last 7 days. Okay, so I just got done talking about gaming, metaverse, right? Gala is definitely benefiting right now, coming up in a big way. What else? Arweave, a decentralized storage play. I've said I like it a lot. They're up 7% today. Yeah, there's some movers, but not crazy movement today. But Solana's having a good day. Bitcoin dominance drops a little bit, 0.1%. Lazaro, you're very close. You're very close. Just another 15%, you'll be back in the green. Injective was up around 100% the last day, the 30 days. Yes. What about Fetch AI or Render? You know, Render, I've never liked Render, but man, it does move. I gotta admit, it does move quite a lot. It's near $1 billion. People love Render because they think this is a play on GPU sharing. Like you could borrow GPU from others and you could rent out your GPU. People like Render because they think it's in the AI play, but it really isn't. You can't use Render's power for AI computing. Right now, it's limited to like 3D rendering. So it's not really used for artificial intelligence, although people think it will be. But, you know, a project like Flux, that's exactly what they're doing too. They're onboarding like 1 million GPUs for AI computing. So, you know, Flux might be one to watch because they're relatively low. Render is at $1 billion already, but, you know, maybe they move to AI play too. Fetch is different. Fetch is like AI. I mean, it's not really directly AI, but they say they have these agents that will make smart decisions, I guess, for you. They are a full-fledged L1. Relatively small still. Singularity is still the biggest AI play. HEIX. Actually, no. They're smaller than even Fetch AI now. Interesting. Network error. Why do I have network error? So Singularity and Fetch AI are about the same. Armin says, we are looking at a minimum 20 to 30x from our current levels. Yeah, a lot of these are. A lot of these coins need to go up 20 or 30x before they get back to the previous high. Hey, Bitcoin, come on now. Bitcoin is getting close. Let's just break that 35,000. Breaking that 35,000 is going to mean a whole lot. See, we've been hovering here, ready to break out. So close. Break out, and then we head to 37,000. Johnny's new member, welcome. Welcome. Jan asks, when do you think the Fed will start lowering interest rates? I think sometime mid of next year, June, July timeframe. I think that's when they start cutting. So again, that's like just a few months after having that. So that would be insanely awesome. Skipping Stones, Doge 1 launch November 16. Okay. Do not care about Doge 1 launch. That sounds like another meme coin. Man, we're getting close. Getting close. Crypto surge. That's quite funny. Man, with all these profits, guys, you got to celebrate with me and others at this event. Make sure you check it out. It's going to be a good one. And then next year, I have plans next year. I know a lot of people don't like to travel or can't travel. So next year, I'm going to have a network event after every major basic conference, starting in January already. So this one's in December. January, there will be one in Miami called Quantum. So I'll be going to that one. And then fast forward, I think consensus is like May timeframe. And then Bitcoin 2024 will be July timeframe. And then there'll be a few others along the way. So every single conference, I'm going to have a network event / party. So then you guys will be able to meet up with me and also mingle with others in this space. That's the whole point of these. Not really to have a fun time, even though that's guaranteed, but really to meet others in this space. You know, I invite a lot of projects, a lot of big influential people to these events. And now, since I'm piggybacking off of every single conference, some of the biggest people will be at my event. So this next year will be quite interesting. I'll be making a lot of travels and a lot more videos too while I'm at it. And focusing on IFC, which should happen in February. It's gonna be nuts. I don't think you guys realize how nuts this is. Okay, first of all, this event is at this place called Nerd Bar, which looks pretty good. But you know, I don't think people understand how crazy it is to get inside this ring, okay, and have real fist fights and kicks. It's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be nuts. Oh, we're getting closer. Closer and closer. Angels guest list. Constellation, Department of Defense, rarely spoken about. Wonder why. I backed them in 2021 and 2022. I thought they were interesting because they were partnered up with the U.S. Air Force and Department of Defense, but they never went anywhere. It seems like they're layer 0, and they do different kind of smart contracts. They're really focused on the private sector, right? Almost like a B2B play. So that may be the reason why, Angels. And I know they try to, I don't know if they upgrade to Constellation 2 yet. They were supposed to move to make a big upgrade. Webby, I appreciate that. Greetings from Portugal. What about Algorand and Woo? I don't know. I got off the Algorand bandwagon. Yeah, not a fan of Algorand anymore. Woo Network, I never really paid attention to them. They're not available for the US. Their app isn't, so they're like a all-in-one DeFi trading platform. Is your party going to be PG-13? No. We're all adults, okay? We're not under 13. The party's not going to be PG-13. The chat might be, but not the party. And then, you know, there's an after party too. But that's only for my insider friends. Why hasn't WaxP blown up? I've always said this too. Or asked this, I should say. I think it's because if you look at their token economics, they have 5 different tokens, and people get quite confused on what each one does. There's like 5 different tokens, and I don't know what any of them do, except WaxP should be the main one, but there's like so many. I think that's why. They get lost. People get lost in the shuffle, like what is really going on there. If we break 35, will we see a 30K spike? I think there's a very good chance of it. The next resistance after where we are is around 37. So if we do break above, most likely we'll get some kind of short squeeze or something like that. And then we could definitely break above to 37. Maybe not right away, but man, I gotta zoom out more. I hate this way, yeah. So if we break out of here, right, truly break out, then yeah, I think we'll trend upwards to over there. Or we could just get a immediate pump above and then make a new level there, kind of like here, right? We could see the same thing happen. Karen, hi from Germany. I think the best crypto game is Splinterlands. It has a great economy. You know what's funny about Splinterlands? And I hate to throw this story out there, but it's kind of true. Like, the BD of Splinterlands reached out to me through some other thing. I forgot how we met. Someone else introduced us. And he introduced me to the CTO of Splinterlands. So we had a phone meeting, a Zoom meeting, and I thought we were going to talk about Splinterlands. But he spent 1 hour of that time to talk about what his prior life was. He was like some kind of data analyst, very smart, and analyzed all this data and did all these things in 2017. And he was like Arkham before Arkham, right? Like, we spent a whole hour just him talking. I barely got any words. Him talking about how brilliant he is as a data scientist. We spent 0 time to talk about Splinterlands. And I'm like, okay, thanks for sharing. You sound like a really brilliant guy. You sound like you're really passionate about all the data gathering. But I learned nothing about Splinterlands. And that was the last conversation I had with him. And that was maybe like 2 months ago. You know, I actually wanted to learn more about Splinterlands, but I learned nothing from that conversation. But I know they're a big card game, You know, I know that, but I just wanted to know more about what they were going to do and plans and stuff. I learned nothing. Did you see Steph Curry's 3-pointer yesterday? No, I didn't watch. I watched some highlights, but I don't watch the games right now. Doesn't a price drop follow Golden Cross? No, it does not. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it does not. Sometimes these Golden Crosses last for a very long time, years before you see a death cross. So can we write off and move to 28K? What would your absolute low be? I don't really know. I'm not the person to ask about that. You go ask some chartists out there and they'll tell you where to go. But I don't worry myself how low will Bitcoin go, or does it need to go down before we go up? No, I don't pay attention to those things. I pay attention to the fundamentals and how they keep getting stronger for Bitcoin. Phantom and recent Sonic news. I didn't hear about Sonic the Hedgehog or some other. Here we go. Phantom launches testnets for Sonic upgrade. Estimates 6,700% throughput gain. See, the thing is, this doesn't impress me. I'm sure the testnet is not just for throughput, but 6,700% throughput gain sounds great. But is the chain maxed out right now? The answer is no. It's like upgrading a 10-lane highway to a 1,000-lane highway, even though only one lane is being used. That's the thing. There's too many people that focus on, or I should not people, too many chains focus on getting crazy amount of bandwidth and throughput, yet they run a ghost or aka empty chain. Like, I don't know why that is. They should spend a lot more effort on drawing dApps that can actually fill the chain up first. Incentivize game makers or dApps that can draw in millions of users. Max out the chain, okay? Then talk about improving throughput. I don't get that. I really don't. Besides Ethereum, which is god-awful slow, we have seen Ethereum max out, right? But all these other chains that could do thousands of transactions per second or tens of thousands of transactions per second, are they filling them up? No, it's not even close. They're not nearly close to 100%, right? Yet they're trying to upgrade once more. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. But I'm sure there's more. I'm assuming there's more to this upgrade than just throughput gains. But, you know, I'm just ranting about that. Like, you don't need to improve it when it's still empty, you know? Yeah. I mean, this DeFi Llama chart is just horrendous. You look at how much TVL locked in, it basically went to zero. Anyways, to answer your question, I'm still a fan of Phantom. Although they just keep getting hacked and hacked and hacked, they need to stop those hacks. But Phantom also, Andre Crony, he's going to be in that Quantum conference. I think he talked about making a Phantom just a L2 for Ethereum. Like he's going to use ZK Tech and convert the whole thing to just a layer 2. Rather than me as layer 1. He talked about it. I don't know how serious he is about it. JJ, I'm completely off Harmony bandwagon. Just after talking to insiders, my feeling completely changed about them and the team. So, yeah, I'm completely off Harmony, but Phantom, I still think they have a shot. Andre Croin is known as a DeFi god. Like, he could still turn things around, I believe. It's not too late. We're barely into the bull market, you know. Phantom could come back in a big way. What's the time frame for ETH spot Bitcoin ETFs after Bitcoin approval? Anyone have a guess? No idea. It could be soon. It could be years. I think after Bitcoin spot ETFs, the SECs go look at how it affects or disrupts the Bitcoin market, and then if it doesn't do a whole lot in terms of like what they're looking at is like manipulation, but if all it does is just pumps Bitcoin to the moon, that's not manipulation. So they'll probably allow the Ethereum spot ETFs to be approved shortly afterwards. Thoughts on Axie Infinity? I just got done talking about Axie, man. They're roaring back, and they're coming out with a new mini game. And I think the people that depend on Axie to make a living, in a lot of parts in a lot of Asian countries, they'll be coming back. So it's good. I mean, they still command a huge market cap. They got plenty in the bank. I think they will come back in full force this year. No, not this year. Next year. I'll just say this run. This cycle. All right, guys. Ooh, we're getting closer and closer, but we just need a little more bump. But I don't think it's going to happen this stream. We're getting closer and closer to breaking that 35,000 mark. It'll probably happen right when I get off this stream. But yeah, it's getting good. Daniel, my Coinbase was hacked and they stole my entire savings. Send it to a different address. Coinbase investigating. Do you think I'll get it back? Unfortunately, Daniel, you're probably not going to, unless they send it to another wallet on Coinbase. Unfortunately, I don't know how you got hacked, unless you didn't turn on 2FA, you didn't turn on Google Authenticator or Authy, and you used your email and the email got hacked or something like that. I don't even know if they allow email or text as 2FA, but that really sucks. I hope you do, but I don't think you'll get it back. But use it as a life lesson to learn from. Make sure you heavily secure all of your accounts. Make sure you get that 2FA, two-factor authentication enabled, because that's unhackable basically, unless they steal your phone and they can pull it up, right? You got with 2FA that can't be transported over to a new phone without physically actually transferring it over, and they can't access it. I mean, make sure you have that turned on. Josh is asking about Meme Land. I have no clue what Meme Land is, man. I have no clue about it. It could be good. It could be the next Pepe, or it could just dump to the ground. But I guess if Binance is supporting it, there's some weight behind it. But still, I'm not gonna research a meme coin, because it's a meme coin. There's nothing to research. It either does well or it doesn't. All right, guys. That's it. Let's see if Bitcoin hit 35,000 by tonight. Things are looking good. BlackRock and Van Eyck may be seeding their Bitcoin ETF soon. And we have just formed a golden cross. So things are looking good. We'll see how good tonight. Tune in 8:30 p.m. Central Standard time. All right, have a good one. Take care. And check this out if you're interested in partying in Vegas. Link in the description. Have a good night. Good day. Bye-bye.